Welcome. In the following video, I will cover the basics of a Cyber Vulnerability Assessment, or CVA, which is required prior to operating a small unmanned aerial system on a government range. In response to an independent study that identified commercial drones as potentially leaking data to unauthorized personnel, organizations, and governments through covert internet channels, an OSD memorandum dated 23 May 2018 with the subject line Unmanned Area Vehicles System Cybersecurity Vulnerabilities stated, on May 14, 2018, the DoD Inspector General found that DoD has not implemented an adequate process to assess cybersecurity risks associated with using commercial off-the-shelf unmanned aerial systems. Effective immediately, you must suspend purchases of COTS UAS for operational use until the DoD develops a strategy to adequately assess and mitigate the risks associated with their use. The Naval Postgraduate School's Joint Interagency Field Experimentation Program, JVAB, in conjunction with the Unique Mission Cell's Joint Vulnerability Assessment Branch, JVAB, took on the task of developing a cyber vulnerability assessment capability that met OSD requirements for vulnerability analysis. The JVAB CVA allows DoD organizations to continue purchasing and operating drones once they have received a CVA. What does a cyber vulnerability analysis involve? Well, there are several aspects of a CVA. Some are mandatory before you are allowed to fly your drone, some are requirements prior to flying specific ranges, and others provide an in-depth vulnerability assessment for specific mission sets. Prior to flying a UAS, JVAB will accomplish a traffic analysis of the UAS and its ground control station, as well as other components such as a smart device. A traffic analysis will consist of monitoring and capturing traffic between the UAS and the GCS and other components of the system. If traffic is identified as being sent to the local or remote network, JVAB will attempt to identify if it is encrypted and the type of encryption being used. What are and where are the observed endpoints? And JVAB will also attempt to identify the type of traffic being sent, whether it's video, telemetry, GPS, HTTP, etc., and will complete an endpoint server analysis. Required assessment actions for JVAB include frequency verification of all radios to validate documented frequencies, ensuring no side channels of communication exist. Completion of a questionnaire that details information on the make, model, and components of the UAS, as well as capabilities that include range, lift capacity, and types of missions it is designed for. Also, if any modifications were made to the firmware or software from the factory standards. More advanced vulnerability assessments will include a forensics analysis of the GCS and smart devices used to control and communicate with UAS, and onboard and removable memory. An advanced assessment will also include a more traditional cyber assessment to include a vulnerability analysis, penetration testing, and data exfiltration. If you have questions or comments, please visit us on the JVAB Q&A virtual room during the JVAB virtual event.